Hi, this is Eve, author of Detox with Ease and owner of the website detoxthebodymcs.com. This is the third one. I'm talking about how to heal chemical sensitivity and other chronic illnesses and general detox. So yeah, chemical sensitivity is not an allergy, so you don't want to tough it out. I was tested for allergies. I didn't have any allergies at all. All I had was sensitivity. So you do want to get rid of chemicals everywhere, and that is a very long job. You cannot do that in one day. You have to really replace, many things that you own. You have to always buy more expensive things. Well, some things turn out to be cheaper. Like, you know what? You can just wash your clothes in baking soda. How I do mine is I'll put a baking soda in there and a little natural laundry detergent, maybe a little borax. If I run out of baking soda, I'll just put laundry detergent. Dishwashing detergent. Your clothes get clean fine. Anywhere you have that fresh scent, you got to get rid of it. That fresh scent is like a lie. It is not. It's not fresh. It's chemicals that are hurting you. So, yeah, you want to stay away from toxins, and it's kind of really sad and depressing because it ruins your social life, your work life, and every normal life you knew. And I just stayed home. I started exercising at home. I really was addicted to my gym and African dancing and this and that I used to do back then, and I kept trying to do it, but I just get sicker and sicker. So, and I was getting sicker. It was very scary. Some people have very severe chemical sensitivity. Like, there are certain people they start reacting to everything, even non-chemical. So I don't know how to deal with that, although I do know, I would do the same thing. I do know that the body does repair. Just it might take longer, and it might require more things. But generally the things that help was like alkalizing your body. You can do that with baking soda. You can eat a lot of lemon water. You learn what foods are acidic, like sugar, of course, is the worst. So, we have to become unaddicted to sugar. I just eat raw honey. Raw honey is good for you. Some people, like Dr. Mercola, is like, no. Well, some people do well with that, no sweet things at all, including fruit, honey, and carbs. But that's not for me. You have to do what you can do. Like, I am not that extreme of a dieter, I've never just given up all sweets. And by sweets, I mean fruit and honey. I honestly, honey is so good for you. And I actually think, I'm not an extremist. I don't believe in doing extreme measures because basically, when you start to do extreme things like that, unless you're the kind of person that really likes that, which I don't think is most people are, you're going to fall off of your regimen and you're going to get sick or sicker again. So it's just best to do things that are workable. But, honey is good for you. Sugar is bad for you. It's very acidic. And, I would read the books, the alkaline diet, and then I wouldn't do everything because diets are so strict, and I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. So, just implement some of those things. Like, okay, I cut way down on carbs. I don't eat any wheat because when I do, my stomach swells up and I don't feel good. I just did it as an experiment. I made a video about it. Just an experiment, like, okay, I'm not going to eat wheat for a month and see if I lose a bunch of weight. It was like that book, Wheat Belly. They said, oh, you're going to lose your fat, because I gained a bunch of weight all of a sudden. And it actually worked. I thought it wouldn't work because I had such a clean diet already that I didn't eat any junk food. So I thought, oh, well, eliminating all that junk food, of course people are going to lose weight. So I wasn't eating any junk food, but I did slim down some. And then when I noticed when I do go to eat it, I swell up. A lot. Sometimes. Not always, sometimes you can get away with a little, because I still do it, because, every once in a while you just want to eat a little cake. But, But then, you know, after swelling up, you're like, well, okay, you stop for quite a while because that's not really fun. Detox chemical sensitivity. My biggest thing is just to give hope, you know, that the body does heal, and we can learn how to heal it, and it's best that we learn that, because you know, if you can afford, you know, $150 to $200 a visit to your naturopath, plus all the supplements that they try to sell you, I mean, that's okay, but they're not really going to heal you because it takes a lot of time and effort. Like when I did the grounding and earthing, I would go out in nature 3 times, 4 times a week for a couple of hours. Now, sometimes I just do it for a minute here and there. But basically, it's the effort that we ourselves have to put into it, and just try to, you know, educate ourselves and get the knowledge of how the body heals. Like, there's so many things that are aid healing to the body, and we just learn, you know, step by step what they are and do them to the best of our ability. You know, I still live in the same house. You know, I used to think that something toxic in my house. Every winter, when the heat would come on, my lungs would start hurting really bad. And I actually, for when I was sick, I turned all my heat off, except for there's like one heater that just works a little. I had all my windows open all winter. I was so crazy. I had like had my coat on. Sometimes I have friends come over and they'd be like, "It's so cold in here," and I'm like, "Come on, just keep your coat on." No, you know, like, what's the problem? I got used to it. You know, you do a lot of weird things when you have chemical sensitivity to survive. And now I don't do that anymore. But, you know, the oxygen was great. But I don't require it. My body doesn't feel a need for it. Part of it is that yoga, especially the Kundalini yoga with the breath of fire breathing, really heals the lungs. My last video was about healing the lungs, and I developed asthma with chemical sensitivity and had lung pain every day and coughed several times every hour. So, you know, there's the mind, there's the meditation. In mine, I always do visualization. I think there's a lot of techniques like that that really help. I would imagine myself well. Like, what would I do if I was well? I was a Zumba teacher before I got sick, so I was like, oh, I'll be a Zumba teacher again. And I think I could do that now. I just don't really want to. I don't believe in doing cardio in a gym because, so when you're in a like an institution, a public place, they clean all day long, or at least they clean twice a day. They use toxic chemicals, but they don't ever wash the toxic chemicals away. So there's more and more and more and more. That's why when you're in buildings and things like that, and you have chemical sensitivity, you really don't feel good at all. So yeah, do yoga and meditation with me. You can try it. And if you can't afford a $6.99 for my ebook, just write me and I will send it to you for free. Because I know what it's like. You know, many people who are sick are also broke. I don't do consulting or any of that for free. I did do that for a while, but I will do barter, but basically the other bartering people never really follow through. But if you want to do barter, I will try that if you have any skill. But usually people with chemical sensitivity, their brain is so not properly functioning. There's such a brain fog that coincides with chemical sensitivity that people aren't really able to do that well. But if you can, that's good. I just think, you know, over time and healing, we can heal, and especially like not with fear. You know, that's like a big trick with the chemical sensitivity. So you actually have PTSD because if you get to smell an air freshener Glade, you know, and then you get really sick, your brain is going to remember that forever. And actually, the brain does react to chemicals as an alert. Your brain goes on alert and does a stress response, even healthy people, because your brain knows, like, what's that smell? That's not, you know, a normal, healthy smell in the environment. So after you start to get well, you have to also like relax all of that intense fear, which is involved in everything makes you sick. That is this very scary, fear-producing situation. And, you know, it's your body protecting yourself because you don't need any more chemicals, and your body's like had enough. So you can't, You know, you'll start going crazy and getting that urge to run away when you get around the chemicals. So you have to really like heal a lot of that fear and a lot of that stress that even comes from the chemical sensitivity. At least I did. There are some very calm people out there who have chemical sensitivity, but mostly, you know, we're pretty stressed group of people, and it's a very devastating illness. You lose just about everything, and people think, you know, that you're crazy. And what also people thought with me a lot was that I was a prima donna. You know, if I would ask somebody to open a window, they would be like, "Oh, you always want everything your own way," you know. And I'm like, if I asked you, it's because I really, really needed it. You know, I'm not a prima donna, and I don't go around demanding things. It's not my personality at all.